The euphoria on Independence Night was almost tangible. The excitement had been building up for days, and by 10 p.m. on October 8, 1962, 2 hours before the Union Jack was to go down, Kololo airstrip in Kampala, the newly declared capital city of Uganda, was filled to capacity. In 1962, Ambassador Wasswa Birigwa, formerly a musician and now a politician, entrepreneur and businessman, was a 14-year-old boy living in Katwe, a suburb of Kampala.
The distance was not very far to walk from Katwe to Kololo airstrip. As youngsters, we crowded around closer to the days where the function was going to take place, but I was able to see everything.
He witnessed the arrival of Sir Walter Coates, the then governor of Uganda, and the Duke and Duchess of Kent, who were representing Queen Elizabeth.
When the Union Jack, which is the British flag, was being lowered down and the Uganda flag went up, what a sight, what an excitement.
The euphoria and excitement was that the country had now acquired the mandate to take care of its own affairs without looking to London for approval. Of course, as the unfolding years later proved, the optimism was too early.
Mr. Milton Obote decided to invade the palace of the Kabaka. And to me, that is probably was the beginning of the end of our independence, so to say.
Birigwa is one of the growing number of politicians who have come out to compliment former President Idi Amin on his tough economic stance.
He was a nationalist. I think probably he was the most nationalist we had at the time. And he changed a lot, including bringing the economy in the hands of the Africans. He was, as I said before, brutal. And at that time, many people, especially intellectuals, lost their lives. We can debate exactly who did what.
But what does independence really mean to Birigwa? We asked him if Uganda is really an independent country. The Forum for Democratic Change Katonga party chairman claims that with only a few institutions working in the country, our independence was a sham.
We removed the British and put in, even I can say, half-baked Ugandans to lead us. That also includes somebody like Idi Amin. Are we better off than we were when the British were ruling us? I'm not too sure. We had better systems. Institutions were working. Institutions were respected. There were no nepotism to the extent that we have now. Corruption hardly existed.
Statistics from the Uganda Bureau of Statistics show that the youth remain the majority in Uganda. However, 16% of them are unemployed, with many of them willingly going into what analysts have called modern-day slavery in the Middle East.
That to me saddens me, that my country, after 62 years, cannot take care of its children. We have no industries to speak about. After 62 years, there's a problem. It is not yet Uhuru. We're independent in words alone.
He laments that at one point Uganda was more prosperous than some countries in the Far East, but now the country is a shadow of what it was supposed to be.
What has happened to us? What happened? What went wrong? And what has gone wrong? Simple. Governance. Some of these guys believe they're the only one who have got the answer to our country. And unless we say, hey, listen, this is for all of us.
Since young people are the ones who will propel Uganda into the future, he advises them to interest themselves in building the future of the country.
The leader we have at the present moment is one man who has a vision, and the vision is his vision. And if we were to vacate, there'll be a huge vacuum which will create many power centers. rather than one man continue to decide on for us. We need to have a dialogue. So we have some kind of a national consensus of how we should be ruled, how we should take our country forward.
In the end, Birigwa says only regional federalism will prevent the country from falling apart in case of any political instability.
Uganda was not a tribal entity per se. It was a nation in itself. And Aselso Bunyoro was very close to that. And eventually, of course, the Basoga also came in with Nadiope being the Chabazinga. So I believe this is where we made some mistakes of not recognizing what these institutions could contribute to building Uganda. We decentralize and let different areas or states take care of their business.
A lack of transparency and accountability of financial resources and weak institutional government, which have eaten into all sectors of the economy, have been named as significant challenges to good governance in Uganda. Gillian Nantume, NTV Tonight.